Black people did not build this country. Saying black people built this country is like saying Mexican migrant workers built SpaceX. Not to mention the Civil War destroyed nearly everything. After the Civil War, we started with a clean slate. And also, there would not be black culture without white America. Black culture, or what people consider black culture, started after they came here. When people talk about black culture, they don't talk about all of the shit you see on National Geographic. These people don't go to Africa. They talk about the culture that you see now, which is a direct result of white people. The language that they speak, mostly, the technology that they use, the places that they live, the instruments that they use in their music, literally everything is the result of white people.
You know, it's really funny. It's really funny because, I mean, people with fifth grade history, come on this platform and talk about, black culture, white culture. I mean, history in general, and they don't have a clue. See, when we found these people dwelling in caves, you see, I mean, that's their history, man. That's why they call Caucasians, because we found them in the Caucasus Mountains. You see, this is where they come from. You see, and we helped them. We showed them how to use soap and water. You see, but now today in 2026, it's like, either they know the history and won't admit it, or they're just stuck on stupid, man. They're stuck on fifth grade education. You see, but let's continue. I mean, look, man. Everything you see on this list, man. Our people created all this. You see, everything on this list, we created it, and he claims it. That's what they do, man. You see, we create it, and they take it and they patent it and call it their own, man. But everything on here, we did that. You see? I shouldn't even waste my time, re-educating these cave dwellers, man. I shouldn't even waste my time. Their engineers today still can't figure out, how these pyramids were built. You see? That was black people, man. Those were the Israelites that built this. Once again, he mentioned Mexican people. You see? I mean, like, the calendars that they had were accurate, more accurate than the calendars we have that the white man come up with. You see? But they say they built everything. He'll probably tell you white people built this. Look at this. His people saw this stuff, man, and they were in utter amazement when they seen the architecture. You see, they couldn't believe that black people built this stuff. You see, and once again, look at the nose. See, they had to knock the nose off. I mean, they're a bunch of haters, man. That's what it is. They're a bunch of haters. You see, they had to take the nose off so that they could claim this history. Make it make sense. What is he talking about? Look at this, man. These cave beasts, they wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for us, man. We taught them how to survive on this land, you see, which was a mistake, but we still taught them, you see. That's how we are as a people, man. We are a kind, loving people. You see, when Columbus first came over here to the Americas, he said that in his memoirs. You see, that this people are kind and generous people. And in the same breath, he said we can take these people with very few men and destroy them and enslave them. That's the kind of people you're dealing with. You see, these cave beasts, They always thinking about war, man. They always thinking about war. Even if they smile and shake your hand, they thinking about how to overthrow you, man. And that's biblical. But we taught these, non-melanated people how to live over here. It says the Native Americans taught European settlers essential survival skills. Once again, they would not even have survived the first winter, when they came over here, including farming, local crops, hunting and fishing methods, and making natural medicines. You see that? We taught them everything. These vital lessons allowed the newcomers to stay alive in an unfamiliar environment. Make it make sense, man. And how did they return the favor, man? You see, they returned the favor by bringing smallpox, rats and mice. When they came over here on the ships, they were carrying all sorts of diseases. You see, because they didn't bathe. These people didn't bathe, man. They go for months without taking a bath, man. They still don't use washcloths, man, when they wash their ass, man. You see what I'm saying? And you got these people, proud people, talking their mess, man, on the internet. You see, they still, I guarantee you, ask him, do you use a washcloth to wash your ass? He'll tell you no, he don't use a washcloth. Look at what we taught him, farming and food, corn and squash, growing native crops that fit the local soil and weather, maple sap, foraging, finding safe wild berries and roots and nuts to eat. We taught them all this stuff. And they would not be here if we had just stayed to ourselves. They wouldn't have lasted a year over here. They would have died off a long time ago. You see? But we trust our enemies. That was always our downfall. We trust our enemies. Look at this. We taught them how to cure meat, man. After we taught them how to hunt for the meat, we showed them how to preserve the meat. You see? So they can have meat to eat during the winter. Travel gear. We taught them how to build canoes, snowshoes for moving across water and deep snow. We taught them herbal remedies. How to use plants and trees, to cure wounds and fever and pain. Warm clothing. We gave them all this stuff, man. They would not be here today. So when we say we built America, we built it because you would have never survived over here. Look at this. The first automobile. The first automobile built by an African American owned company was the Patterson Greenfield, created in September 1915 by Frederick Douglass Patterson. See this? His white ass would be walking, you see, if it wasn't for a black man. He'd be walking. He would be sweating if it wasn't for a black man during the summer. Because we created the air conditioner, you see. We created all this stuff, the blood plasma banks, refrigeration. They wouldn't have blood, storage. You see, they wouldn't be a Kroger's or Rice or Randall's Food Market without us. You see? So when ignorant people get on the internet and talk, racist people, Trump supporters, when they get on here and talk, and they sound stupid, they sound very ignorant because we know the history. You see, they didn't teach the history. They taught it in reverse is what they did in school. You see, we created all this stuff. Henry Ford, he stole that patent from us. That's what they do, man. They steal everything. Look, I had to bring out this scripture, man, because I mentioned that they steal everything, man. They steal everything. Look, when you go to the book of Obadiah, the Most High is telling us, man, in the last days, you know, who the devil is on the earth, man. See, he's exposing these people. You know, he's exposing the man of perdition, the man of sin. You see, they stole everything from us, man. It says, verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, see, right off the cuff, it tells you who we talking about. Who's America? The eagle. And though thou set thy nest among the stars. You see, these people lied and said they went to the moon. You see, and then 40-something years later, they said, oh, we lost the technology. We can't go back. Just a bunch of liars, man. Thence will I bring thee down, said the Lord. If thieves came to thee, this is the point. If robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? This man stole everything, man. He stole all the patents, everything. He stole it. After we invented it, he stole it and put his stamp of approval on it. You see? So history was taught in reverse. That's what happened. History was taught in reverse. You know, they told you that we didn't do anything, that we created everything. That was a lie, man. All lies. Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not have leave some grapes? No, they don't leave anything. You see, they take all your history, hide it from you, you know, and give you their history, their mixed up version of what happened. So it says, if the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? Esau is the white man. You see, he even changed all the names, all the biblical names of all the nations on the planet, you know, so that he can stay hidden, you see. So he can hide himself, you know, who's the wicked on the earth, as it says in the book of Job 9:24. You see, and hide God's chosen people as well. He's calling them Mexicans and African Americans, you see, Haitians, Cubans. He's hiding all the names of these people. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Look at this, man. Even the headphones on his head, a black man created it. So when this man lies and says that, you know, his people created everything, you see, don't believe him, man. Don't believe the hype.